Good morning and welcome to The Point for Friday, July 2nd, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9 and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. It is a pleasure to have each and every one of you joining us for the final To The Point of the week. Before we get into the substantive part of the program, which is of course open line, just some information on Hurricane Elsa. It was just over an hour ago that what was tropical storm Elsa has been upgraded and reclassified to a category 1 hurricane. She is now Hurricane Elsa, and according to information from the weather experts, hurricane warnings have been issued for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia. Hurricane conditions are currently being experienced in Barbados. I saw footage this morning of at least one roof of a house that was destroyed by Elsa. So at least one roof has been destroyed by Hurricane Elsa, and I have seen footage of rain, lots of rain in Barbados as well. So Barbados is currently experiencing the effects of Hurricane Elsa. The Meteorological Office of Barbados reported sustained winds of 74 miles per hour and a gust of up to 86 miles per hour. So again, a hurricane warning is in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tropical storm warning is still in effect for Martinique, and a tropical storm watch is in effect for Grenada and its dependencies, Sab and St. Eustatius, as well as Dominica. So since we last spoke just about an hour ago, there has been no upgraded warnings for Grenada. We are still at a tropical storm watch level. Tropical storm watch. According to the projection, Hurricane Elsa is moving quickly over the southern Caribbean. Most of the effects will be felt during the mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and by tomorrow morning, God willing, we should start to see clearer skies, and as Elsa continues her west-northwest track across the Atlantic and the Caribbean. By way of information in relation to schools, I have not seen any information from the Ministry of Education and or the government, from the GIS, in relation to cancellation of schools. The only notification that I've seen is an advisory that CXC exams will run as scheduled today. CXC exams will run as scheduled today, and according to the timetable, that would be English B, aka literature, for both the morning and afternoon sessions. So Form 5 students and those of you taking private classes, the CXC timetable has English B scheduled for today, and they will go ahead as scheduled, or at least until otherwise advised. The Ministry of Education the government through the Ministry of Education advises that students in flood-prone areas are urged to take the necessary precautions, leave home earlier if needs be, to ensure that you are on time for CXC. Remember, it's not just Grenada and we can cancel the paper as we see fit. It is a regional system that everybody needs to be mindful of and everybody needs to be on the same page with. So CXC continues today. Also from the Ministry of Health, the vaccination campaign has been suspended at the National Stadium because, of course, Grenada is under tropical storm watch. So there will be no vaccines administered at the site at the National Stadium, at least for today, until Elsa goes about her business. And that, I think, is all the information that I have so far. So CXC goes ahead, literature papers 1 and 2, and no vaccines will be administered at the stadium. The site has been suspended until the passage of what is now Category 1 Hurricane Elsa. All right, now let us get into the substantive part of the program. It's Open Line Friday here on To The Point, giving you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call us or message us with anything that you'd like to share. The landline number, 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, call. Okay, we lost that caller. All right, let me see if I can tackle some questions on the WhatsApp. Okay, I have to scroll. Let me take the landline first. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning. How are you?
Good enough. How is Mom?
Mommy is fine.
All right, then I'm glad.
Okay, go right
Protocol
ahead.
established.
Protocol established. Go ahead.
Anyhow, no, I'm not, as I always said, I'm not too intelligent. But sometimes when I see things written on programs, it hurts me to see that how we are using words. Better, some of them are not spelled in the right way. The construction of sentences are not done in the right way. The words are shortened by saying you when you should spell you, you, sorry. Also, you have commas that are stringed all about, and after the commas you have capital letters. And this hurts me to see what is happening with the educational status of us in Grenada. I don't know if it's going up or if it's going down, but I don't think this sort of written slangs or expression should be placed to the public. So it's either we going up or we going down. This hurts me. So something ought to be done about these social boards. People have to write, express themselves in standard English. As you would say, IAE. I don't even know what that means. And also, I find that we have a right to somewhat import the quantity or ask for the quantity of vaccination we are likely to use. A few weeks back, I heard we got a few thousand well enough. And to me, the number that are being used or the number that we are expected to use is way below what we have asked for, what we have accepted, despite the fact that it is free. Maybe in the next few months you'll hear the bawling again. You'll hear the bawling again that they have to give it out. So we can't take things too much. We could sell them, but we can't take all of them in so short a time because we wouldn't be able to use it. I don't think we persuasive enough to get people to take the vaccination. So we have to watch ourselves with the number. Don't let it spoil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller, for your participation. Always appreciate your participation in On To The Point, or on the programs, I should say. Okay, somebody asking me a question on the YouTube. Let me box my brain and because the way it may have a follow-up part of the question, let me box my brain before I answer you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mosso.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good. I didn't hear good yet. Wednesday, what Mr. Nicholas Steele said about the PCR test. So I don't know if you could help me on that, because you had also asked him a question about the price. Right. And the other thing, going on Canal Road, there are some holes in the middle. When I tell you, Blossom, in the middle of the road. So if you're walking and cars coming up, they have to swing to your side. There are a few holes going down in the middle of the road. And I find there's the town of Grenville. And I find all who passing could see it. All who passing. when I say that, those that responsible for the road and those ministers, if the holes now, they're full of water with the rain that coming. So when the car swing and you on the side, water could wet you, or the car swinging and you, where you going to the side, the car swinging there. I think somebody, I know there's a road people looking at what's going on. And right by the Silvera place on Canal there, a piece of wall, something that let us build like on the side of the road. It fell down about, I don't know if it's since in January, but it fell down. And now the road is cut in there. And nobody paying attention to these things. Every time you pass, I passed there sometime, I think Wednesday, and you could see, not Wednesday, Monday, and piece of road cut. I don't know if a vehicle go too much on the end of it and it break piece out again. I wish somebody could have passed and look at these things and see it is very dangerous. Because it's a while I saw it, I wasn't saying anything, I want to see if they would have do it. But now that the rain falling, the road starting to break again. It's starting to break because the big piece of wall fall already. You had a pipe there, they fixed it now. I saw a big main pass there. And now the road breaking piece. If with all this rain falling, if the car try to go too much on the side, they could just go down in that side. So a lot of the time you see things happen is because of negligence, not negligence on the people that you could say driving, but the person that's supposed to be looking at the road and looking at the danger of the road, they're not looking at it because the piece of thing will come down and with all this rain, so now they will make a narrow road and the road will just get more narrow because people are afraid to walk. If you're walking on that side and a car coming up, you can't even go on the side because the thing breaking out.
Okay.
And it's right on Canal Road in Grenville.
Okay.
Right. So a field minister, whoever responsible for the road, must go and check this thing before something happens. Have a good morning.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. The part of the question, the first question that you asked in relation to the PCR test, the short of the story, as Minister Steele explained it on Wednesday, was that some Caribbean countries are able to subsidize the cost of the PCR test. However, Grenada's subsidies are going in other parts. Parts is not the word I'm looking for. What is the word I'm looking for? In other areas. The subsidies that government is providing in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic are going in other areas, not in PCR tests. However, other governments are providing their subsidies in the PCR tests and not in other areas. You understand? Hopefully that answered your question, and that was what you were curious about. All right, YouTube. Somebody on YouTube is asking, can you tell me who is entitled to a state funeral in Grenada and what is meant by state funeral? Off the top of my head, almost, a state funeral is provided, provided for, done for people of national significance. National significance, people of, I don't know what else to say, like former governors general, former prime ministers of the country, they would receive state funerals. Keep in mind, I think there's a difference between a state funeral and an official funeral. All right, so the person said they have a follow-up based on my comments, so let's see what the follow-up is. In the meantime, let me go to a Facebook comment. Somebody on Facebook says, how can you say that vaccines are given to the countries? It's we who is in the rich. What? Hold on. Sorry. I'll have to decipher. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How you do?
Quiet for the time.
All right. Stay quiet. Go ahead.
The person that's talking about state protocols, is it state funerals and so on they're talking about?
Yes, they asked what is a, let me make sure I have it right. Who is entitled to a state funeral?
Right. If they go to foreign affairs or military One of the ministry, you have a book, a protocol book, and they give you all the details on that. Prime Minister and his wife, when they're dead. Governor General and his wife, when they're dead. Ministers, all ministers. I don't know if you extend to the senators, but all of it.
Okay.
These are the people that are entitled for state funeral.
Okay.
I think the commissioner of police and so on too.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So hopefully that helped further explain. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, I want to send my prayers. I want to send my prayers to the people of St. Vincent who've been going through a lot, and now with Hurricane Elsa threats they're now facing. That's the first set of people that came to mind when I saw the heavy rains earlier this week. A lot of people still have it in their mind that the rain would wash away the ash from the eruption of La Soufrière volcano since April, but it's not washing it away. It's not like dust and it'll clean. Ash different to dust, and there's still ash about the place in St. Vincent. I know there are rivers flowing heavily with the ash, rain, mud, silt. St. Vincent is just, it's heartbreaking seeing the footage that I've been seeing. It is. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I'm seeing that a lot of students are getting picked up from school. So I was just saying that even though like the ministry didn't make an official statement, the schools could have said something earlier because a lot of parents are at work right now. So how would the children reach home?
Which schools you're seeing them getting picked up from?
All over.
Just all over?
Private
okay.
schools, St. Louis, RC, Heinze, just to name a few.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that information. Thank you. I suspected as much that was going to take place. With a lot of people dropping their children off to school this morning, I predicted as much that a lot of schools would signal that they're, shutting for the day, considering the threat of Elsa. So I'm not really surprised. I just still am confused and taken aback that we don't communicate more. I guess the Ministry of Education was leaving it to the schools to figure out exactly how they would go through the day. But I think the onus sometimes could be on the schools, principals, actually the parents as well too. Call and say, we are school. Most classes, if not the entire school, but most classes in schools have WhatsApp chats and so we can communicate more. I guess some did it, hopefully. There may be others who didn't if there are students in the schools. Parents call teacher Patsy had class today, follow up, and it goes both ways. So sometimes the communication is just not communicate. Let's put it down. There's no communication when there should be communication. So I'm not surprised that students need to be picked up. So if you are a parent and you dropped your child off at school this morning, there's a hurricane not directly on Grenada, but we would get the effects of Hurricane Elsa. So just call your child's teacher, the school, the principal, follow up to see what needs to be to know how to treat with your child and or children. Okay. WhatsApp. I was trying to remember the name of the thing. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, why no word from NADMA as to if it is still safe or not to venture outside to work, school, etc., since it is upgraded to a hurricane, NADMA or the relevant authorities? Based on the system of information sharing and communication, it would take a while. I have learned that it's not just hurricane coming, NADMA makes the decision. The decision has to be made first in Trinidad, then sent to the Met Office, I believe, and then the Met Office advises NADMA, and then NADMA makes the decision. Or they have to advise the council, the emergency council. Anyways, a long system. It's not just NADMA seeing Elsa and deciding this needs to take place. It's like the Ministry of Education has to tell the principal has to tell the teachers have to tell the students. Something like that has to take place. So maybe that is why we have not heard anything as of yet from NADMA. As soon as I get NADMA's official word, y'all know I'll share. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blossom. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Rain falling by where you are?
Yeah, lot of rain is falling.
I'm not hearing it in the phone, though. So you're
Yeah,
good.
a lot of.
Where are you located?
In the holy city of Lacalome.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, two things. First of all, as usual, I am very pleased with the program, what do you call it, showroom?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, to me, that's the best program that GBN has on.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm serious. I don't tell people, I'm not a diplomat. It's the best program. And I was very encouraged this morning, very elated to hear Dr. Wendy Crawford Daniels.
Yes.
But my only disappointment is that when she was talking about a couple sensitive areas, that she didn't question a little more, because to me, and that is not a judgmental thing, that would have helped to bring a little more clarity. She was talking about the research she did on the LGBT. I think I've seen another journalist done that when Desmond Tutu came here. When he was talking on that subject, it was we move up the subject too quickly, because there's so much arrogance. So much ignorance and prejudice. People need to understand more on that. They need, rather than walk around with a prejudice. So I thought I probably should have asked her to tell you more about, how thing, because I thought it was very, very informative what you were saying.
It was in the interest of time. It was in the interest of time, yeah.
Okay, so that. And then also when she talked about the right of people to have different views on the vaccine. I thought, again, she was very useful, and maybe could have said her again, because what I'm saying is that a lot of people may not understand, but when they listen to somebody like her speaking, they might be able to have a little more change of view instead of being hostile to one another. Now, my substantive point this morning is in two things. Basically, is about how we prepare for hurricanes, natural disaster, and then also a little piece on the vaccine. Now, I heard about this weather system since by accident through the BBC. I went to throw my garbage and I heard they were giving their weather for Latin America, and the woman said there are two systems in the Caribbean that has to be paid attention. And I'm not too sure we paid much attention to those systems except in the last day or two. Whether we should be saying to be not scaring them, look this system. The other thing about this is that if we do our part, for instance, if we don't cut down trees, if we clear drains, if we remove debris, we can just let the thing come true. But we don't do those things, and that's why we are frightened to death when these things come in. And we have to help our people to stop satanizing the hurricane. The hurricane is a natural part of life. It has to come true. It must. Unfortunately, we have killed out the Caribbean and Iraq, so we don't know how they used to deal with it. They survived it for thousands of years. So that's one. The other thing about it with the vaccine. Now, it's interesting that the doctor said what she said this morning, because I think we need to listen more attentively. What is happening in various places? Indonesia have closed down. Australia is restricting. If that is all the case, and then my friend in the States told me, I probably mentioned that already, that the virus is mutating much faster than it seems as though we can deal with the vaccine. The vaccine could suppress it or keep it under check. So we need to have a more comprehensive approach. Now, I'm not trying to be against vaccine here. No, I'm just saying the vaccine alone approach is not working.
Okay.
We need to find a more comprehensive, do other alternative, and let's have conversation. And I agree with Dr. Wendy Crawford Daniels. We need to listen to people. We don't listen to people, so we don't learn.
Okay.
And not because I'm not supportive of the vaccine at this point in time, that means I am dealing with fake news. I don't deal with fake news.
Okay.
Finally, Blossom, who is the winner of the vaccine?
They have not revealed the name.
You see that? You see, where the transparency? Thanks.
Thank you very much. As explained by Minister Steele, the winner of the vaccine lottery, $10,000 vaccine lottery as I call it, was selected on Wednesday afternoon. It is a female national. However, the name of the winner will not be revealed unless she gives the go-ahead to be publicly identified. So yes, a winner has been selected. The draw was administered by the National Lotteries Authority. The winner was selected on Wednesday. and she will not be identified unless Blossom says, yes, tell them it is me. They won't identify her to members of the public. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, how could he say that vaccines are given to the country if we who are in the rich countries are helping pay for you all vaccines with our high taxes? Tell the caller nothing is free in this world. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp, hold on, let me scroll. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I think Flow should drop the price of their internet service because it is the most crucial times you don't get proper service like a day like today. Or other days sometimes. No calls on the WhatsApp, please. Only written messages on WhatsApp. I will read the comment for our viewers and listeners to hear. So please, no calls on the WhatsApp. Person decline. The 538 number that's calling the WhatsApp. No calls on the WhatsApp, please. Another WhatsApper says, the Ministry of Education needs to be on the ball for Pete's sake. At least say something in regards to schools. I agree, and they have been, somebody at least has been updating their Facebook page. They've posted the CXC notice 26 minutes ago. 2 hours ago, they posted something about a competition. Let me see. 2 hours ago, they posted something about another school handover. So the page is active. They just don't have a notice on the temporary closure of schools at the moment. Landline before we go to the break. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, the people who are cleaning on the side of the road, they're not cleaning the drains. And the drains now are blocking up and endangering people's lives. That's a serious matter. I've just come from outside and with my fork and my spade and my hoe and had to clean over all the drains on the side of the road, which is ridiculous. The people are drawing money for these jobs and they're not doing the work. What kind of foolishness are going on in Grenada? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're sure that is part of the job description? Remember that too. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but sometimes that's all I tell you to do. Clean the road, but don't clean the drain. Or I was not specific to clean the... again, I am not saying it's not part of the job description, but sometimes we just have to be mindful of what some things entail. Let's take a break and then we're going to come back inside with some more Open Line Friday here on To The Point.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Do you hear what I hear? Listen to the ocean, and you will hear a cry for help. The ocean is hurting, and we are the source of the hurt. But we can stop and start to heal our ocean by preventing pollution from getting into our waterways. It can start with you. Join an active organization, or better yet, make a personal commitment. Commit not for just one day in the year, but for the rest of your life. Let's dispose of our plastic and other waste responsibly, and let's start building resilience. Let the healing begin.
This message is brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
I urge you, don't stay too long. Come and see where we all belong. Come and see for yourselves. Come behold what we sell. Want a country and tell. Not just beautiful beach, all the culture that's rich. You'll enjoy your friendship. Come and see for yourselves. Come behold what we sell. What a country and tell. Not just beauty.
Welcome back to Open Line Friday here on To The Point. Once again, the landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no YouTube links, videos, pictures, voice notes. Only written messages, please. And you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Right back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and how are you?
Morning, I'm great. How you do?
Okay, I'm fine. This is my first time calling. I think I've listened to the program long enough to make an input.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And you see, I believe our education system has really failed us, just to further the cause of our colonizers and others, because we have really not been teaching independence of thought. Persons who think differently from the cultured norm, they're considered problematic. Why is it that because I don't agree with you, I am the problem, or I am rude because you are my superior? There are some people who think because they have a little education, maybe with some letters behind their name, that they're always right. Their position is much more solid than my position because they have been to university and I am not. And I'm concerned here because our leaders are saying that vaccination is not compulsory, but I know for a fact that even at the ministerial complex, for example, you have staff who are being forced to be vaccinated, and statements are being made to them like, oh, I thought you had more sense than that. You disappoint me because you did not take the vaccine. And many of them would have just decided to just take the vaccine because they're being heckled all the time. And if people don't see that we are just creating two categories of people in this world, especially even here in Grenada. You're the vaccinated or the unvaccinated. And our leaders are totally disrespecting the choice that people have. God who made us gave us free will, and he doesn't even mess with our free will. And man, on the other hand, now is deciding to mess with people's free will. I'm not certain if the ruling administration may think that they are the 15 disciples chosen by God to mandate whatever they have to mandate. But in concluding, I believe people must respect people's decision. Whatever your choice is, you must learn to respect other people's choices. And stop abusing people with the power and privilege that some persons have, because you have them as contractual workers. You can just do them what you want. Let people make a decision and respect the decision with independence of choice. Only when we do that, we really can say we have a sound education system. But as far as I see, education, the Ministry of Education, our education system has really failed us and is keeping us in slavery by those who colonized us years ago. Thank you, Blossom. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate your sentiments, and I agree with you. We should all be able to agree to disagree and still get along no matter which side of the quote-unquote argument we are on. I agree with you. Let me go to a WhatsApp comment. Somebody says, can you tell me the latest on the legalization of cannabis in Parliament, or do we have to wait till the day before the next election for a grand announcement, like the discovery of our great abundance of oil? I do not have an update on the the decriminalization. I do not have any updates on the decriminalization of marijuana that is expected to go before Parliament. I know Parliament has to meet sometime this month. There was the order paper was sent out, I believe it was earlier this week, if not yesterday, Wednesday. So Parliament has to meet sometime this month, but I'm not sure the bills that are on the order paper. I have not seen it personally, so I do not have an update as yet, or at this moment. Another WhatsApper says, First, I'll begin by saying congratulations to Team West Indies on their victory yesterday. But when you use cheap psychology to get people to come into the stadium, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I mean to say is that it was announced that Andre Fletcher has been reinstated into the batting lineup for the fourth game held yesterday, and of course he didn't play. Yes, WhatsApper. His name was included on the squad, and when I saw the starting 11 or the 11-man squad, his name wasn't on it. So they probably tried to entice us in truth by saying he on the team, so he on the 13-man team, but he wasn't on the 11. I know something to frustrate me yesterday in truth, you know. I knew it. Yes, WhatsApper. But congrats on the Windies on that victory yesterday, leveling the series 2-2. The fifth and final T20 is scheduled for tomorrow, God willing. Weather permitting. The weather is expected to clear up, or we should start seeing clear skies by sunrise, but I'm not sure if the field will be dry enough to accommodate cricket to see who will come out the eventual winner, or if they'll just keep it at 4 and 2 wins apiece. The series will be a drawn series, so let's see what happens tomorrow. Please the Lord. Based on the weather, the match is scheduled to bowl off at 2 p.m., so that should be enough time for the sun to work its magic. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
What I want to... Hold on, let me just turn on the radio.
Yeah, I was just about to let you know that I was hearing an echo, so turn down the device.
Yes, my blossom.
Yes.
The rain is doing very good to your flowers today. I want to say, I'm siding with the man who spoke before. And when he said that that people making us feel like fools when we do not agree. And he has facts, because indeed God has given us a free will to choose. And I think everybody could never choose the same path, especially when we following, because I'm following it to the letter. Because I think the Word of God actually talk about the mark of the beast, and I am saying that is the introduction to the mark of the beast. Because if you can't buy or sell when that thing would happen, and now if you don't decide to take the vaccine, you cannot work. It's the same thing, because you won't be able to eat, therefore you won't be able to buy food and stuff like that. And one of your announcers almost tried to humiliate me one night by carrying on. He even put down the phone on me and stuff like that. And I think this is totally, total nonsense. And I want to say another thing. If we're taking a vaccine, right, and it's causing problems, right, and nobody wants to talk about it, right here in Grenada, I know of some people who took it, and they have, they want to say is like just reactions from it, but it's bad reaction. And it's like they just don't want to speak about it, and it's not fair. You know, so I am saying this morning that we have the right as citizens to choose or not to choose the vaccine. And when we look at it with the amount of people sick over, like globally, something is wrong. You understand? And I came into really strengthen what he said, because he is correct. They cannot laugh at us and think that we are fools, because we are not. And in the long process that have to come before the real thing come out, and the real people start falling down like flies, then we will understand who is fools and who is not fools. Blossom, you have a very blessed day, and God bless Grenada. I'm glad for the rain anyway. Bye.
Thank you very much, caller. Enjoy the rest of your rainy Friday as well. All that thunder here outside it. Something kind of make my heart leap a little. Make us reach in my place here. Let's go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, NADMA and the relevant bodies responsible for emergency response here in Grenada is pussyfooting at this time. Why aren't we hearing about a course of action as it relates to the impending storm conditions? Another Facebooker says, parents need to use their knowledge as well. Let me check NADMA's social media while I take this caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
I don't know if I'm wrong. Did I hear someone say that Mother Rose, for example, is closed? Or the school is closed?
I didn't specifically hear
Someone called about
Rose.
Mother Rose and Heinz. Is it that I heard?
I'm not sure. I did not hear specific names of schools. They just said there were students being picked
I
up.
know for sure these two schools aren't closed or anything like that.
No. What the caller said was that there were parents picking up students from schools from various schools. They did not specify which schools.
Oh, they pick up. Okay. I know that's happening in Mother Rose, for example. But this weather, well, what I say is not unusual. This is what the rain we are getting now, and it's very heavy by me. You're probably hearing it through the phone. This is kind of normal rainy season weather. So I do not know that we should be totally alarmed and say the ministry didn't say that and that sort of thing, because generally we go to school some days and you have 20, 25 centimeters of rain in a given day. When it is a normal rain season, yes, there is a storm watch, but if they didn't think that it will be unusual, I do not know that I should alarm people and that sort of thing. Right? It's just that I have been living in Grenada for all my life basically, and I have had very terrible rainfall with no systems out there, just normal. When I say normal, heavy rain from the rain season, and I think that is what I'm getting now. Thunder, lightning, whatever is not unusual during the rainy season. On the same token, with the lady just spoke, I agree that one of our biggest problems in this world, not just in Grenada, is intolerance. People are so intolerant that never mind what someone says, and don't pick it to just people, Christians, quote unquote, are so intolerant of non-Christians. If someone don't believe what they say, they are going to go to hell. So don't let the believers think that because the Christians say mark of the beast, whatever, they are the right. And these Christians, they are very intolerant of normal people. There are people with normal belief that they do not believe the Bible as is. They don't take it literal. And you are intolerant of them. They are going to go to hell. And this is that and that's what intolerance is 90% of the problem in this world. You shoot somebody because you're intolerant of them. They can't have an opinion. They can't have a nothing. On the vaccine issue, intolerance on both sides. Some people feel people who take it as stupid because you're taking the mark of the beast. I mean, prove that.
Okay.
Some people think you didn't take it, so you're stupid. Intolerance, darling. We just have to learn to tolerate each other.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. In relation to the rains, I say this with as much respect as possible. Don't try to time me out. Hurricane rain and rain, like two different things. If that's your experience, fine. But once we hear of a system approaching, following the experience of Hurricane Ivan of 2004, no matter how long it was, this year will make it 17 years. There are a lot of people still traumatized, and the passage of Hurricane Ivan was a lesson for a lot of us. So we ain't taking chances. And with the speed that Elsa is and was moving with, and her rapid upgrade from a depression to a tropical storm, now to a Category 1 hurricane, there is need to be cautious and careful. And I could understand some people's fears based on Ivan alone. We are seeing our Caribbean brothers and sisters going through it themselves with hurricanes and tropical storms. Our neighbors to the north, St. Vincent, Dominica, they're all experienced something or the other recently. Our most recent would be Emily in 2005 and Ivan in 2004. But that does not negate the fact that it still brings fear to some of us when we hear there's a system approaching. I am not surprised that there were supermarkets filled yesterday and people running helter-skelter to prepare themselves. So while you may not be alarmed, fearful, frightened with Hurricane 1 Elsa bringing her gallons of rain, the rest of us, some of us cannot be as calm as you, sir. So while you may not see the reason to be cautious and careful and on alert, some of us beg to differ. Just this morning, I saw at least one roof damaged by Hurricane Elsa. The person was, just chilling in on the ends, and they showed footage of the living room completely uncovered and the kitchen partially uncovered. And with that taking place just northeast of us, I still shouldn't be fearful. I beg to differ, sir. All right, YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, I am happy to hear on GBN News last night that the Cuban vaccine is ready for WHO to approve and it's 92% effective. So I hope the Ministry of Health is listening to GBN News. They're listening, but they still have to wait on the go-ahead from WHO. So let's see what happens, okay? Somebody on Facebook. I am a Grenadian. No. There's a comment I didn't read on Facebook, right? I meant to say vaccines are not given to countries free. Somebody has to pay for them. Okay, that was one of the comments I read earlier. Understand, Facebooker. Another Facebooker, I am a Grenadian doing some work in St. Vincent, getting ready for the hurricane, but I am in a very safe place. Oswin, good to know that you're in a safe place. Continue to be safe. And I know St. Vincent is also going through it, still reeling from the effects of La Soufre volcano. So please, Oswin, protect yourself and your loved ones. All right, let me go to WhatsApp. Facebook, don't worry, I'm coming back. Somebody on WhatsApp says, our politicians have wised up to the fact that repairing the main roads, no matter how bad, doesn't win votes. But concrete roads in villages and private driveways do, so they are focusing on the latter. It's all about votes and winning elections, nothing else. Landline, no. So another WhatsApp comment. Somebody on WhatsApp says, seems the ministers could care less about what people say about the status of our country. It is a shame. Every day people are calling about the conditions of our roads, among other things, to no avail. We have to remember that the world is listening. Government is going out there and saying the country is doing well. Good morning, caller.
Morning, greetings, Sister Blossom.
Greetings, brother. How you doing?
Holding on the weather as usual. We, nothing really different. We experience hurricane, we experience weather in different conditions. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But the main point I'm looking at this morning is that, we are people that history has taught us much. Sometimes we really don't take many from it. But from Egypt in Africa right to the Caribbean, onto Grenada and Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we have learned so much, and who don't, maybe why living in fear today. The creators do things in the way, not how we would like it all the time. That's the reason why we get sun sometimes, and we get it so hot that sometimes we want shade. And when we get the rain, sometimes we get it so much, we're looking for so much shelter. But you know what? Many times nature speaks to us in so many different languages, but we does not pay attention. We don't listen. And then we belittle people in so many different ways. So sometimes when the truth really comes, we get baffled into agents that come out to spread lies and create conflict and confusion in the world. And we have among us such people that doesn't really like to see peace on earth, love and genuinity amongst mankind. So we have the odds and we have the even. We have to take our chances just like the ones who take the chances to create the conditions that every man living in fear of, a thing they call the virus, a thing they call some plague onto the human race. But when we could show away the fear and put the faith that we always try to hold on to and pay so much attention to, that's the time when you really need to dip your head down and your heart down and your mind down into that condition where we can find the space in where we can see ourselves, like say, things have come to pass. Let's give thanks for life And let's give thanks for we as human beings could join ourselves with one song to love the children and keep working with each other, because that is our survival. It has everything that we don't have to make with our hands. It's already made. We just have to rip it and probably do the necessary things, like you hire a gardener and you still have to clean it. You know, the weeds that you doesn't want and what you want, what you need. Our condition based upon so much of money that even we have all what it takes to make money, and yet we are afraid to take the chances that every other one who develop in the world today, look, China, they develop, they take the chances. America, England, all of them, Europe in general, look the chances they take to put us in chains and shackles and keep us and do us what they have done to us.
Okay.
Today our ancestors speaking in so many different ways, but let's love each other, let's unite with each other, and let's tolerate each other. Let's do it for the sake of the children. Give thanks, my sister.
Give thanks, brother. All right, let me read some final comments. YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says the mark of the beast is what is ruling now, but there is another mark that is true. Mark on the cross of Calvary. This mark could be any sign, anywhere, with anyone, and most from animals. Facebook. Today I'm going to be nice and wow, Jose. Today I am going to be nice and I'm going to talk about that there was a handful of Grenadians attending the cricket games. I won't talk about the vaccine in the trial stage for emergency use only. I won't talk about the number of deaths at the General Hospital. I won't talk about the breakwater system in Sauters. I won't talk about the 4% government needs to pay public servants. I won't talk about the Hillsborough port issues in Carriacou. I won't talk about the hurricane shelter that has not been released yet. I won't talk about the Prime Minister and the white man saga. I won't talk about the marijuana that was fished out of Sauters police station, and I won't even mention that if election was called today, NNP can lose, but NDC has to convince people they're the alternative. And I won't talk about the vaccine lottery was a fast and no winner. I see what you did there. Hold on, let me see something you said that I have the list of shelters that was released the day after. It could be the same day or the day after I spoke with the public relations officer of NADMA, Oslin Crosby. She was on To The Point last week, Thursday. I think it was last week, Thursday. She was on To The Point last week, and either the day of the interview or the next day, the list of shelters was released. I would see if I think I got it in my email. I would look for it and attempt to post it on GBN's social media page. Yes, the list came out, and I promised I was going to post it on the social media page. So the list is out. And something else you said, that there was no winner in the lottery. Yes, there was a winner. The female just has not been identified as yet. Okay. Somebody brings up a good point. Somebody on Facebook says, I agree, the Ministry of Health don't publish the name without permission. NLA should do the same. The NLA also seeks permission, I believe, or that is part of the agreement when you do a lottery draw. When you buy the ticket, I think part of the agreement is according to how much you win, you will be identified. Like if you win the jackpot. So maybe that is part of the NLA's policy, that you only release people when they give you the go-ahead. And since they didn't actually buy the ticket that says I will be part of any promotion, then you probably need permission in truth. Okay. All right, let's wind it down. Let me see if I can read two more comments on WhatsApp before Joseph returns. Somebody on WhatsApp says those garbage truck workers not even wearing a raincoat in this weather. What's up with that? It really bothers me. Well, they could have just given anyone the money and say they win. Who we know for sure? How we know for sure? The garbage truck workers, some of them fine, man. They irie. I like to see them, especially on mornings when I come in the after 5 and minutes to 6. I see them on the road and they do their work with such joy. I just like to see them on the road and just give them a little toot when I pass it. Beep, beep. when I pass in, because they do the work with joy. They're cool, man. If they wanted raincoat, they would have asked for it, or they wouldn't have walk. Think about it. Another WhatsApper, there was a bungee. Another WhatsApper says, right, the Ministry of Health needs to give a better response to the repeated concerns about healthcare in the country at the hospital. I get it that we are mortals and we all die one day, but that's not an excuse to speed up the process. Individuals have to do their part and government has to do its part. Our resources are limited, but that is not an excuse not to have a robust system of checks and balances, including quality mattresses. Even if the concerns are unfounded rumors, given the state when it comes to healthcare, the ministry must be proactive in having transparent investigations, even routinely. It is not cute when one is so defensive and scripted without respectfully addressing the issue. Maybe we should hire an outside non-political quality evaluator. I will be happy to send my resume and do without a salary as my contribution to Grenada. I agree when whether it's rumor based on facts or malicious intent, an investigation needs to be carried out instead of just saying they know what they're saying. I agree with you on that. Okay, it is time for us to end the program. Ooh, a lot of comments that I haven't gotten to on Facebook. All right, but I can't get to them all, so let me see if I can get an update on Hurricane Elsa. I'm looking through all my weather sites. Caribbean Weather, Spice Weather, NADMA's Facebook page, as well as GIS. All right, so the most recent update states that Hurricane Elsa is still a Category 1 tropical storm. Lies. Hurricane warnings have been issued for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia. Barbados is experiencing some hurricane-like weather. I'm also seeing footage of some heavy wind, moving trees left, right, and center, removing roofs. I've seen, since the program started, I've seen another video of another roof that has been taken off, damaged by Hurricane Elsa in Barbados, and they're getting heavy rains. So hurricane warning for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia. Tropical storm warning in effect for Martinique. Tropical storm watch in effect for Grenada, Saba, Dominica. When Joseph takes over at the top of the hour for Mid-Morning Buzz, I am sure once he gets updated information, he will provide it to listeners and viewers. In the meantime, continue to be safe, continue to be cautious. Those of you who live in flood-prone areas, be mindful that we are expecting lots and lots of rain today into tonight. So the flood-prone areas, I could imagine Montrouge at the moment, the Woodlands area. I saw floodwaters. River Road could be another dangerous area that we need to look out for as well in relation to flooding. Landslides, mudslides, say at the western side of the island, there are parts of St. David and St. Andrew that comes to mind as well. Come to mind. Please be careful, be cautious. It is no longer a tropical storm. It is Category 1 hurricane, and the way Elsa is, according to the projection, she will be a hurricane up until Saturday. She's gone from us gratefully, but she would still have hurricane force winds and features as she progresses, but she will soon start to downgrade again to tropical storm status. But in the meantime, she's still a hurricane. Continue to be careful, continue to be cautious. If you don't need to leave home, stay home. And that's where I'm going at the moment, and I won't be leaving again until I get the all clear from hopefully NADMA. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Be safe for the weekend, everybody. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz.